I've been ill for the last 2 weeks. I haven't run in 2 weeks. This is the first run back, and we have a decision to make. Right, well, it's a week later from when I filmed that clip earlier, and I'm thankful to say that I have recovered from that illness. But it has been the worst week for a long time work-wise. I'm talking 14-hour days, multiple wake-up calls during the night. It's not been good. And this has, along with all the other challenges I've had on this training block, it hasn't been great. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a training block like this before. I mean, normally you can cope with a little bit of illness. You can cope with life getting in the way a little bit. But throughout the second half of this training block, every week has had its challenges for me, both with work, life, and illness. And I reckon I'm less fit now than I probably was in week 3 of the training. And we've only got 3 weeks till race day. Worst of all, the long runs. They've just been non-existent for the last few weeks. And if I tried to do a 20-mile long run now, I'd have no chance. I would have absolutely no chance of doing a long run of that sort of distance that, of course, I should have managed by now already as part of this marathon training block. And I am sorry for anyone that watches these videos to gain inspiration in their running, particularly if you're training for a marathon at the moment and you use my journey as inspiration for your own journey and to encourage you. It's just not been there this spring, I'm afraid. And yeah, all I can say is sorry about that. Look back at last year's Brighton Marathon training vlogs if you haven't already, because they were quite good. But this year, it just hasn't worked out. So I've got a decision to make, haven't I? On the 2nd of April, what am I going to do? Do I turn up in Brighton, completely unfit, and try and run a marathon? Or do I go for an alternative plan? Well, before I tell you, let me tell you a little bit about the Brighton Marathon this year. For anyone that didn't know, and that isn't really here in the UK perhaps, hasn't been following the news, the Brighton Marathon, the company that used to run that, went out of business. They did that after a lot of people had already signed up for it for 2023, and a lot of people were left hanging, not knowing whether they were gonna just lose their entry fees or what would happen. Would there even be a marathon in Brighton this year? Thankfully, the company that run the London Marathon and some other events, they took over the Brighton Marathon. They obviously weren't getting any of that income from everyone that had already signed up. But for me, I was waiting to see would the marathon go ahead before I signed up. So I only signed up when the London Marathon had taken it over. But this did mean I knew exactly what I was signing up for. I knew the rules about deferrals, and they are, you can defer to next year, but to do so, you've got to pay the full entry fee for next year, and you don't get anything back on your entry fee for this year. So they call it a deferral. It's not really, is it? Because you can always get an entry for next year anyway. It's not like London Marathon where it all goes to ballot. So not really a deferral. But I did know this when I was signing up. I knew that if I pulled out, I would lose my 70 quid or whatever it was for the entry fee for this year's Brighton Marathon. There is, however, another event taking place on the 2nd of April down in Brighton, and that is the Brighton Marathon Weekend 10K race. Now, there was nothing on the website at all about whether you could defer from the marathon or count your marathon place and with it enter the 10K. So I wrote to them and they wrote back and they said you can do that. So instantly this becomes an option. So I've got 3 options. 1, run the Brighton Marathon in 3 weeks' time, even though I'm just not capable of it. 2, cancel my marathon place and enter the 10K instead. I don't lose any money doing that, but that's an option. Or 3, don't do anything, just pull out completely. I'll lose my 70 quid and I'll just reset, refocus and hope that I can get back into some proper training again. So those are the 3 options available right now. So which option do you think I should go for then? Comment below option 1, option 2 or option 3. Now whichever option I pick, I decided I'm not going to continue with these marathon training vlogs. So you'll have to tune in around the 2nd of April and I will reveal what I decided to do. But do comment below, and if you're new to the channel, do subscribe so that you can find out. And also guys, always appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button to give the video a like. But for now guys, a slightly disappointing ending to this marathon training, but I'll see you in the next video.